Florida's real estate implosion is not a future projection. It is a full-scale catastrophe erupting immediately. Beyond the scenic coastlines and curated social media images, professional families earning six figures are being devastated by a financial tempest they never anticipated. Educators making $75,000 annually are submerged under $11,000 insurance mandates as the value of their principal asset plunges catastrophically. Condominium valuations plummeted 9.9% in just 12 months, representing the steepest statewide decline observed since 2009. Concurrently, insurance expenses have soared over 60% since 2019. In locations such as Cape Coral, thousands of property owners are now carrying mortgage balances exceeding the current value of their residences. For sale placards bleach under the intense Florida sun as fundamental equity vanishes every week. Crucially, this is the element almost entirely overlooked. This is not merely a localized Florida crisis. It represents the initial domino drop, a definitive signal of the immense pressures threatening housing stability across the entire United States. We begin the analysis with the 10th city currently experiencing catastrophic market collapse. Number 10. Winter Haven. Visualize quiet suburban avenues featuring mid-century ranch architecture, once marketed as the definitive locale for retirees and core middle-class households. Today, sale signs proliferate uncontrollably, resembling weeds after heavy rainfall, while qualified purchasers have completely evaporated. Winter Haven formerly provided the perfect equilibrium: proximity to significant Orlando employment sectors, yet sufficient affordability for families to accumulate wealth. That foundational promise is currently disintegrating rapidly. The data confirms the silent disaster. Home prices receded 1.2% in only 3 months, spanning October 2024 to January 2025, which forms part of an accelerating 0.9% year-over-year erosion. CoreLogic now classifies Winter Haven as a very high-risk zone, projecting a 70+% probability of sustained price degradation throughout 2025. A family acquiring a $280,000 residence in 2022 has already witnessed a $25,000 equity obliteration as mandatory insurance costs now vault past $5,000 per annum. Winter Haven is ensnared between two collapsing financial titans: Orlando's weakening technology employment sector and Tampa's violently escalating insurance emergency. The outcome is a perfect storm event. Households generating $65,000 are rapidly discovering that supposed affordable housing has mutated into expensive poverty. When factoring in escalating tax liabilities, exploding insurance mandates, and plummeting asset valuations, professionals like teachers and nurses who sought stability now face a brutal ultimatum: endure and desperately hope the hemorrhaging slows, or execute a sale at a profound loss before conditions deteriorate further. Number 9. Lakeland. This is only the beginning. Driving the Interstate 4 corridor connecting Tampa and Orlando, Lakeland once appeared to be the salvation point for the Florida middle class. Contemporary housing, reduced purchase prices, and respite from crippling coastal insurance liabilities. That illusion has irrevocably shattered. Nurata Real Estate designates Lakeland as very high risk, anticipating home valuations will decline by up to 15% before 2026. That equates to a potential $45,000 loss on a $300,000 asset, while essential monthly financial commitments continue their relentless climb. During the pandemic-driven expansion, developers saturated Lakeland with aggressive new construction. Currently, much of that newly built inventory remains abandoned, as the duration properties spend on the market now exceeds 74 days statewide and is even longer within Lakeland itself. The disparity between required income and actual cost is a mathematical impossibility. The area's median household income is incompatible with housing price points that demand $85,000 salaries for comfortable, sustained affordability. A $280,000 home purchase now necessitates a $1,650 monthly mortgage at 7%. plus $4,200 for mandatory insurance, plus $3,500 for property taxes, a total monthly commitment of $2,650 before homeowners association dues, which typically average another $200. This outlay consumes 60% of the median family income. Teachers, law enforcement personnel, and young families genuinely believed Lakeland represented their pathway to economic security. Instead, they're caught in a financial vice grip where operational costs accelerate while asset values simultaneously collapse. Number 8. West Palm Beach. Palm Beach County provides the definitive, clearest snapshot of Florida's fractured marketplace. Billionaires actively acquire $30 million estates, while middle-class property owners residing mere miles away watch their life-accumulated equity vaporize. CoreLogic's January 2025 reporting lists West Palm Beach as very high risk, with 70+% likelihood of further price depreciation. County condominium values have plunged 11.4% year over year, effectively erasing $34,000 from a benchmark $300,000 unit. Insurance constitutes the subsequent crippling blow. Palm Beach County's average annual premium is $6,614, the second highest rate across Florida, imposing an extra $551 per month onto the ownership obligation. Furthermore, the legislative fallout from the Surfside condo collapse has triggered catastrophic special assessments ranging from $15,000 to an overwhelming $40,000 per unit owner. HOA fees have concurrently skyrocketed 30 to 50%. For instance, a paralegal earning $62,000 faces $1,850 mortgage, $551 insurance, $350 taxes, and $450 HOA. The total, $3,200 monthly, a crushing 62% of gross income. Subsequently, a $28,000 special assessment bill arrives. The immediate consequence? Owners are rendered equity prisoners, incapable of selling, unable to relocate, and financially prohibited from affording their current residence. Crucially, this crisis is not contained. It is spreading rapidly.
Number 7. Sebastian/Vero Beach. Vero Beach once flawlessly represented everything Florida promised: untouched Atlantic coastlines, picturesque barrier islands, and established communities where families historically built generational wealth. Developers aggressively promoted it as a coastal haven guaranteed to appreciate. That fundamental illusion has now been annihilated. Sebastian/Vero Beach home valuations crashed 4.6% year over year, according to the House Canary Q3 2025 analysis. A median home transacting for $387,000 in 2024 is now struggling to command $370,000, a $17,000 wealth destruction while mandatory mortgage payments persist. However, the most devastating financial impact is insurance. Coastal premiums now regularly demand $8,000 annually for flood zone assets, imposing an extra $750 per month in insurance alone. A nurse earning $68,000 now allocates $1,800 for the mortgage, $750 for insurance, and $400 for property taxes, a staggering $2,950 per month, which consumes 52% of her gross income before basic necessities like groceries, utilities, or fuel are addressed. Properties remain on the market for 85+ days, forcing desperate sellers to slash prices repeatedly. Retirees who relocated south from expensive northern markets are effectively stranded. They cannot absorb the escalating costs, are unable to sell without enormous capital losses, and cannot afford to return north, where housing costs surged while they were away. The very barrier islands that symbolized luxury now trap residents in financial quicksand. Number 6. St. Petersburg. Consider Sarah, a 34-year-old physical therapist who purchased a 1960 bungalow for $285,000 in 2021. Today, Zillow estimates the value at $265,000. She has lost $20,000 in value while only reducing her principal by $12,000. Her insurance mandate violently jumped from $2,100 to $5,400. Property taxes escalated 18%. She is trapped and hemorrhaging money with zero viable exit strategy. This identical scenario is being replayed across St. Pete's mid-century neighborhoods. Inventory across the Tampa Bay area spiked 28.8%, flooding the market with sellers forced to compete for a rapidly diminishing pool of buyers. Insurance premiums now regularly reach $4,500 to $6,000 annually for homes frequently valued below their original purchase price. A teacher couple earning $95,000 acquired a $320,000 home in 2022. It is currently valued at $298,000. Their total mandatory housing cost is $3,670 monthly, plus $1,200 for necessary daycare. After all tax deductions, they net $5,900, leaving only $1,030 for everything else. A single emergency expense could shatter their entire budget. This is not conventional poverty. These are middle-class families realizing that home ownership in Florida has transformed into a financial death trap. Number 5. Northport/Sarasota. Northport/Sarasota is experiencing a complete rerun of the 2008 collapse, but the market fundamentals are now significantly worse. Home prices declined 7.49% year over year, while Sarasota condominium units dropped 12.2%. During the speculative boom, prices inflated by 51% statewide from 2020 to 2022, with Northport/Sarasota driving the escalation. Properties purchased for $380,000 to $420,000 are now appraised at $350,000 to $385,000. Insurance that once cost $2,000 now demands $6,000 to $8,000 annually. Property taxes have increased 40%. HOA fees are up 30%. Condominium inventory is in a full-blown crisis, showing over 9 months of supply. Properties linger for 90 to 120 days before owners are compelled to reduce prices, often multiple times. Florida now leads the nation in terminated home purchase contracts. A plumber earning $62,000 who bought a $340,000 home now possesses a property worth $315,000, effectively rendering him underwater once selling commissions are included. His housing commitments total $3,100 per month, and he operates without any financial safety net. Neighborhoods once vibrant with new families now stand lined with increasing numbers of aging for sale signs, quiet markers of shattered ambitions. Number 4. Cape Coral. When the Wall Street Journal designated Cape Coral the worst housing market in America in June 2025, the underlying data was undeniable. 8% of homeowners are financially underwater, representing the highest proportion in the nation. Prices have fallen in 12 of the last 13 months. Maria, a 42-year-old medical assistant, acquired a canal front property for $385,000 in 2021. Its current valuation is $325,000, $60,000 underwater. Her insurance costs violently soared from $2,200 to $7,700. With the mandatory mortgage and taxes, she pays $3,467 monthly while netting only $4,200 after taxes. Cape Coral represents ground zero for the Florida crisis. Condominium prices down 14.2%, single-family homes down 8.19%, condominium inventory exceeding 9 months, and insurance premiums among the highest in the United States. What was once an aspiration of waterfront living has now become a financial drowning event.
Number 3. Port Charlotte. Port Charlotte suffered the largest home value collapse in the nation, declining 10.5% year over year. Over a 2-year period, valuations have collapsed over 12%, effectively erasing more than $50,000 in equity for typical owners. Condominium units fell even harder, 18.6%, or a $56,000 loss on a $300,000 unit. A retired couple who moved from New Jersey in 2021 paid cash for a $365,000 home, now valued at $290,000. Their insurance expenses exploded from $2,400 to $8,100 annually.
Their $3,800 fixed monthly income used to cover all expenses comfortably. Now, mandated housing costs alone consume $1,340 per month before utilities, food, or essential health care. Properties remain available for 95-plus days, coupled with mandatory 8 to 12% price reductions. Developers who aggressively overexpanded during the boom now face inevitable bankruptcy or forced fire sale pricing. The collapse has metastasized across Charlotte County, actively dragging Port Charlotte and Inglewood into the same destructive downward spiral. Number 2. Tampa. CoreLogic's chief economist issues a formal warning that Tampa's rapid monthly price volatility signals demand is collapsing. Prices fell 4.9% year-over-year in January 2025, but the three-month decline was 1.6%, a clear acceleration toward a deeper market crash. Condominium units declined 12.3% year-over-year. Foreclosures are climbing fast. Homeowners who severely overextended to purchase during the 2021-2022 speculative bubble now confront the impossible synchronization of plummeting prices and spiraling costs. Builders are dramatically slashing prices on new construction. Townhomes previously priced at $420,000 are now listed for $365,000, accompanied by builder-covered closing costs and interest rate buydowns as low as 4.7%. Entire subdivisions stand half vacant. Properties line the streets with for sale signs, aggressively competing against each other. A police officer earning $58,000 purchased a $295,000 home in 2022. It is currently valued at $275,000. His required housing costs total $2,850 per month. He is trapped, unable to sell, unable to secure refinancing, and facing only continuous insurance increases. Number 1. Florida statewide. This is no longer merely a collection of isolated municipal issues. This is about an entire state, the fourth largest in America, actively undergoing housing market failure on a scale substantial enough to threaten national economic stability. Key statewide devastating indicators: condominium prices down 9.9%, the greatest decline since 2009. Single-family homes down 2.7% statewide. 92% of all Florida metro areas have registered condo price drops. Insurance costs are up 60% since 2019. The average premium is $5,700 statewide. Premiums could potentially hit $15,000 annually by late 2025. Inventory is up 28.8%. Single-family sales are down 5.7%. Condominium sales are down 19.9%. Up to 20% of homeowners are now effectively uninsured because mandatory coverage is financially prohibitive. Citizens Insurance holds 772,000 policies, meaning state taxpayers are directly exposed if a major hurricane event occurs. Families face utterly impossible decisions: retain homes they cannot sustainably afford or execute sales at massive capital losses they cannot absorb. Florida's core middle class, the teachers, nurses, police officers, and essential tradespeople, is being systematically sacrificed to political policies that shielded developers and insurance corporations during the boom years and now leave the homeowners carrying the inevitable fallout.